Hello and welcome to Budweiser Gardens for this National Basketball League of Canada playoff game between the London Lightning and the visiting Windsor Express. It's Game 2 of the Central Division Final. Marty Thompson, Chris Croucher up in the booth. Chris, Windsor snuck out Game 1. Very impressive win for them and a very tight win as well.
It was a very tight game. Only a 2-point victory for the Windsor Express in that game. And it was a game of the utmost importance too, because Windsor winning on the road can be a huge difference maker as we go forward with this series. And I liked a lot of the things both teams did in that game. Unfortunately, it was a case of one quarter going really badly for the Express and really well for the Lightning, but then the Lightning had the exact same thing happen to them. So it'll be interesting to see coming into this game, do the Lightning have an answer, or are they maybe a little having a bit of a letdown after the fourth quarter there against the Express, losing by 2.
Obviously, Windsor with the very, very impressive third quarter in that one, and then London came back in the fourth. Tyshawn Patterson missing the last-minute jumper for that. Looking at the London Lightning, the home team, what do they need to do tonight that was different from Game 1?
Well, actually, I think they should go back to what they did do in Game 1. I really like their aggressiveness at driving down to the lane there and trying to draw some fouls against the Windsor Express. We saw their bigs get put into some substantial foul trouble very early in that game. And we know this is going to be a physical series, so why not take advantage of that and see if you can get a guy like Chris Commons out of the game and sitting on the bench. He only had 7 points in Game 1, and if they can do something similar, that'd be a big difference for them.
We're going to tune into the national anthem. We'll be right back here with the rest of the broadcast.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and
And we're back up here in the booth. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher once again. Chris, 69 fouls in Game 1. It was a physical battle, and we can expect much more of that today and then into Game 3 and 4 at least.
Yeah, and the foul situation is going to play a key factor here because both teams like to be physical. They aren't afraid of contact, and staying disciplined while doing so is going to be a big difference maker for both of these teams, especially Windsor. We saw them get into a little bit of trouble last game, and I mean, London did not shoot the ball well from the charity stripe at all. So if they get that under control, if you look at it this way, London missed almost 15 free throws. If they make 2 of those, it's a tie game. So for London, it's just a matter of when you get to the free throw line, taking advantage of those opportunities. I do love what Windsor did, though, in really pushing their play at the wing position.
So the starting lineup for the Windsor Express: Tony Bennett, Billy Rush, Brandon Robinson, Chris Commons, and Kirk Williams Jr. What worked for Windsor in Game 1 that obviously gave them the win?
Well, I love the way that they used their wing players, Maurice Bolden as well as Brendan Robinson. London really, other than Garrett Williamson, they don't have a true small forward position player. And Windsor did a very good job when Williamson was out of the game of taking advantage of that and really giving the ball to Brendan Robinson. He had 32 points in Game 1, but it was Mo Bolden in the third quarter when Robinson was sitting who put in some absolutely crucial minutes. Bolden was all over the lineup. He played small forward when they went with a big lineup, and then he also played center when they went with a small lineup. So Mo Bolden, maybe I shouldn't be referring to him as a small forward because he did just about everything for the Express there. And having those two guys clicking is going to be big for London because specifically with Mo Bolden, I don't really think there's an answer on London's roster. So they can get those guys going and shooting the ball well. Windsor should be just fine.
Well, we talk about having an answer for a bigger wing player, but if you look at Commons and Kirk Williams Jr. specifically, they're starting today, but they played very limited minutes in game one, and that was because of the foul trouble. That's good for London to keep them off the court.
Yeah, and I definitely think London wants to take that route again. Chris Commons is an MVP candidate, and when you can hold an MVP candidate to 7 points, you've done a good job. One of the things about Commons that a lot of people miss, though, is even when he's not scoring a ton, he still has impact in the game. It's rare that you completely take him out, but London did a very good job of just almost neutralizing him, and I thought they did a good job, other than 2 big three-pointers, at neutralizing Tony Bennett as well. When they've got the vets out of rhythm, the problem is they were still allowing Bennett to make some really nice passes and distribute well, and they were still allowing Commons to have his impact in the post and draw defenders away. So they've done Windsor did a good job of making sure they're still useful players even when the shot's not going. So that's something London needs to keep an eye on, is if Chris Commons isn't shooting the ball well, you know, you have to take the risk at changing your defensive strategy and letting him start shooting then, because otherwise you're leaving someone open. In this case it was Mo Bolden, and Mo Bolden killed him.
Starting lineup for the London Lightning: Nick Okori, Akeem Scott, Garrett Williamson, Stephen Maxwell, and Akeem Wright. Chris, we were talking a bit off camera specifically about Garrett Williamson in this game.
Well, I think Garrett Williamson could be a key factor in this game. We mentioned how it might be a battle of the wings, and I think Garrett Williamson's the one best suited to play that for the London Lightning. And looking at some of his numbers in the playoffs, he's been fantastic. He's never had anything less than 15 points. He's averaged 19 points per game over the playoffs. He had 17 in game 1 against the Windsor Express, and I really feel like he hasn't been given as many opportunities as we're used to seeing from Garrett Williamson. I think that's going to start changing because he's been one of the most consistent performers for the London Lightning and deserving of every minute he can get.
London versus Windsor here at Budweiser Gardens. The 401 rivalry renewed in the Central Division Final. Here at Budweiser Gardens, the series will shift to Windsor for games 3 and 4 this week, but right now this is a very, very important game, especially for the London Lightning, because if Windsor's able to win 2 games on the road, they head home with a very, very impressive 16-6 record at the WFCU Center this season. That's a tough place to play.
Well, no one wants to have to go into Windsor down 2-0 to a 2-time defending NBL champion. I know this isn't the same Windsor roster as we saw when they won those 2 championships, but there's still enough pieces there that I don't want to have to take on Windsor in Windsor. So if I'm the London Lightning, this game is of the utmost importance, because you're not in trouble until you lose at home, and they've already lost at home. So they cannot drop 2. They have to get one here tonight, or else they're going to face a very, very significant deficit.
London in white, Windsor in red. Of course, if you missed the first game of this Central Division Final, that was a 100-98 loss for the hometown London Lightning at Budweiser Gardens on Thursday. Again, Sunday, today, game 2, then we look towards game 3 on Tuesday. But right now, it's Kirk Williams Jr. versus Stephen Maxwell getting set for the tip-off here at Budweiser Gardens. A great crowd on a rare Sunday afternoon game. Ball's up and it's down here. London have it. Okori hands it off to Akeem Scott. And again, we are underway here in game 2 of the Central Division Final. There's a foul early. 11:52 left in the first quarter.
I think they're giving that to...
It looks like to Akeem Scott.
Okay, they're going to give the offensive foul to Akeem Scott there. Oh no, on Maxwell, pardon me. I think they thought the pick must have been a moving one.
So Windsor with possession, as we mentioned before, 69 fouls in game 1. We've already got one here. We're about 20 seconds into this one. Brandon Robinson, the hot hand, carries over from game 1.
Well, I mean, he's still got it going right now, and that's a very dangerous thing if you're the London Lightning. Brendan Robinson, one of the premier scorers in NBL Canada, you cannot let him get hot.
Stephen Maxwell getting his first touches. This is Okori at the top of the key. Backs up. Oh, great pass to find Maxwell. A couple swats, but he'll get it down.
And this is a good sign for the Lightning. They had trouble getting Maxwell involved last game. If they can get him going tonight, could be the difference in this game.
The Express with it here. Robinson takes it. And 2-2 is the score here. Robinson with one of those baskets. London with the stop. Akori brings it across. You got Williamson to his left. Akori will take it. Can't get the roll. It's collected here eventually by Chris Commons. One other game in the NBL schedule. Of course, the other division final, the Atlantic Division final between Halifax and St. John, that is going to start in about an hour's time. We'll keep you updated on that one. Robinson can't get that roll. It's taken up here by Akeem Wright. Halifax leading that series after taking game one handedly last night, 130-89. And if you're just joining us, 10:30 on the clock here in the first quarter. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth. Bennett has possession. Akeem Scott matching up against him. Billy Rush in motion, waving his hands, maybe trying to get a call. Now he's moving towards the basket, and he'll drain it.
Just blew by Nick Okori on that play. Great job by Billy Rush.
Great movement as well. Scott has it. At the very top for three. He's going to miss that one. Akeem Scott, 14 points in game one. Really wasn't able to catch up to his blistering pace in the first series where he averaged 29 points per game. Commons for three on this near side. He rims out. It's taken up by Williamson. 9:44 left in the first. This is Williamson. Finds Wright at the very top. Ooh, nearly catches Kirk Williams Jr. falling to the ground. Williams can't collect that quick direct pass. And now here's Nick Akori for three. Misses it. Windsor ball.
London taking a lot of their shots very early in the shot clock. Not exactly a good omen for this game, as they haven't really tried any set plays. As Akeem Scott just goes down.
Windsor switches it, fresh shot clock. This is Robinson. Bit of a mismatch here with Scott.
Mouse in the house, got to go for it.
Robinson up top to Commons, very deep three. The big man can't get it. Wright collects. Wright still has it. Can't find a lane. He's going to give it to Nick Akori. Wright gets it back. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Wright with a very impressive game one performance, averaging a double-double through these playoffs. Maxwell stripped to the ball, but there's going to be a foul call. As you see, the Windsor Express bench quite happy with that call.
Passing not very crisp right now from the London Lightning. That Williamson pass was very clear where he was going with that ball. Makes it easy on the defender.
Inbound from Scott finds Williamson, who's money from that spot.
Great job just throwing that shot up. And I liked what they did off of the inbound there too. Garrett Williamson, a very smart player. If they can get him involved early, it should be good for London. But I mean, 4-4 when we're almost 4 minutes into this game. It's not exactly a blistering pace tonight.
Tony Bennett, jumper from the top of the key, misses. Seems like neither team is really able to put together any decent set plays. You see Akeem Wright just doing it himself there. Scott can't get the tip. Wright with the rebound, and he gets the putback.
And there we go. We finally see consecutive baskets from someone, as Akeem Wright, who had a very big game one, 18 points, 16 rebounds, gets to add 2 points and a rebound right there.
That's going to be a foul, as Akeem Wright was holding Chris Commons as he tried to move towards the basket on the far side of the key. 8:02 left in the first. Inbound coming from Brandon Robinson in front of Kyle Julius, as you can see just to his right. Robinson up top to Bennett. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, finds Robinson. Oh, great awareness there to beat Akori and then to take it up for two. 6 all, 7:50 on the clock in the first. Scott has it. Bennett matching up against him on the defensive side. This is Williamson. Ushers Maxwell around, trying to get some open space for Akori. Williamson's going to take it anyways, and he's going to get it.
Garrett Williamson just won't be stopped right now. Doing a great job for the Lightning. Keep giving him the ball.
Bennett moves it across. Scott trying to match up against him. Will take him all the way to the hoop. Tony Bennett loses Scott, gets the rebound, gets the putback. No, he will not. He will be fouled, however.
Yeah, Nick Akori just getting a little grabby there.
Well, 3 fouls for London now, just 1 for the Windsor Express. We talked a bit about it before the game started, Chris, but going back to that game one, London just kept taking it inside in the hopes of fouling some players out. A couple players did foul out, and they did keep some important pieces off the floor.
Yeah, and I thought it was a good strategy by Kyle Julius and the London Lightning. Unfortunately, for the Lightning, maybe they underestimated the depth of Windsor a bit, because they got some really good minutes out of guys like Rudolph Jolly, who we hadn't really seen much of at all in the playoffs, and guys like Theo Davis put in some good minutes too. So if you're London, you have to, I would keep going to that strategy, maybe bank on it might have been just a good game by Davis and Jolly, as we see Akeem Wright still has his hot hand going. But I would keep going to the inside. If Theo Davis and Rudolph Jolly are the guys who beat you in the series, you probably weren't going to win anyway. So you might as well just attack those guys and see if you can get them to play more minutes than they want to.
Robinson with the give and go, Commons with the pass, and he'll notch the assist there as again Robinson drains, make it 10-9.
That was just two guys who know their way around the offensive end doing a perfect give and go play.
Tipped out there by Kirk Williams Jr., 17 seconds on the shot clock. Neither team has made a change so far at Budweiser Gardens here in Game 2 of the Central Final. Inbound coming from Akeem Scott on the baseline. Akori's in motion, trying to get open. He'll get it. He'll throw it off just before he steps out of bounds. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Williamson now to Akeem Wright. Open for three. He gets it from the very top.
He's been hot this whole playoff series. He's had a very good playoff, too, even in round one. Akeem Wright has really stepped up his game, and now that we've reached the postseason.
Bennett up top to Billy Rush, who protects the ball up against Akori. Commons spins up against Maxwell. Spins again. Misses. And you see Williams can't get that putback. Maxwell takes it to the hoop as well. Just like that.
Great play by Maxwell, and that's a show of the way he's improved his game over his time here in London. At the start of the year, we will see him jumping from way out and just trying to dunk. That time, instead, he uses momentum and just goes for a simple layup instead. And that's the difference between a missed shot and 2 points there. Great job by Stephen Maxwell.
London off to a great start, 15-9. They've got the lead. However, Wright loses the ball, and now here come Windsor on the fast break. This is Brandon Robinson up against Williamson, and he gets the roll. No foul. He wants one, though.
Well, I don't think Williamson made any attempt at contact there. Robinson very directly jumping into him.
5:19 left in the first. This is Akeem Scott. Now to Akeem Wright. Maxwell hands it off to Wright, who will get the three off. He misses it, though. And again, Akeem Wright having a very impressive playoffs. 16 and 13. 16 points, 13 rebounds. That's just the average for him. Only London player averaging a double-double. Or my apologies, Maxwell is as well. Tony Bennett gets two on the other side, makes it 15-13.
It's another great play by two vets there. Kirk Williams sets the screen, jams up the defender, and Bennett just gets a nice open cut to the basket.
Scott steps back, and now here's Williamson. Corey trying to get the ball. He'll get it on the far side. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Corey for three. Rims out. Kirk Williams Jr. calling for it as he breaks down the court. Bennett is going to hold on to it.
That's the second time we've seen Kirk Williams trying to do some cherry pick and see if he can get an easy two.
Billy Rush finds Commons in the post. Maxwell playing defense up against him. Swatted. Great defense there from Stephen Maxwell, and we're going to get a media timeout. We'll be right back here at Budweiser Gardens. And we're back here at Budweiser Gardens, London versus Windsor. London off to a decent start, however, Windsor starting to crawl back in the now second half of the first quarter. Billy Rush on the inbound, and there's a foul. You've got Williamson and Chris Commons on the ground, and it's going to be a foul against Commons. I mentioned that before. Commons with only 7 points and 5 rebounds in game one, and it was because of fouls. Only 2 now for the Windsor Express, obviously just 1 for Chris Commons at this point. Excuse me, my apologies. Maxwell on the inbound. Here's Akeem Scott. That's a play call from Maxwell, and they'll get things started on the offensive side. Ryan Anderson, he's coming to the game. He gets the ball. Now to right at the very top. Lots of movement here for London. Ryan Anderson into the game. Akori coming out for him. Right. Oh, catches Williamson taking a swat. Now here's Garrett Williamson for 3. He's got it.
Garrett Williamson, not known as the three-point shooter, but he is able to make the open one, so you can't just completely ignore him, and that time he makes Windsor pay.
3:45. Billy Rush with it. Hands it off. Bennett swats away Williamson. He's going to take the 3. Gets it. Tony Bennett, Mr. Clutch.
Very tough 3 as we see 2 members of the 2013-14 London Lightning doing battle there. Tony Bennett, the winner of that one.
Anderson to Stephen Maxwell. I should clarify, Mr. Clutch is actually Brandon Robinson. On Twitter, of course.
Yes.
Should have clarified that. Maxwell takes it up, and it goes down.
This is a good sign for the London Lightning in terms of where these points are coming from. It's not as much the supporting cast, but it's their main headliners. Guys like Stephen Maxwell, guys like Garrett Williamson. That's a good omen for them as this game continues.
Bit of a fake there from Billy Rush. He gets the distance shot. It's only 2, but make that 20-18.
Well, it must be nice when just about everyone on Windsor seems hot coming out of that timeout. Great job by Billy Rush to make that 3-point shot. It was challenged too. They're feeling it right now.
Williamson drops it to right in the post. Billy Rush up against him. 2:41 left in the first. Right, spins, fires, but he will draw the foul. So something we saw a lot of in game one. London Lightning going to the line. They had 48 trips to the line in game one. That's a lot.
48 free throw shots is definitely a lot. Unfortunately, if they had made more of them, they might have won the game, but that's been the challenge for the London Lightning, not getting to the line, but converting when they're there.
So a couple changes here for the Windsor Express. Shaq Keith has come into the game, and Maurice Bolden, we mentioned him in the pregame. Garrett Williamson has come to the game for London, and Marcus Capers has come in. Also, Eric Kibbe making his playoff debut, I believe, coming in for London as well. Akeem Wright goes to the line. 3 fouls each. Relatively tame first quarter, considering. Wright hits the back of the rim. Goes 0 for 2 from the line, so London struggles from the charity stripe continue. Carry over into game 2. They're down by 1 game. Of course, a crucial home loss. This is Brandon Robinson for 3, and the Express take the lead.
Brendan Robinson's feeling it in this game, and that spells bad news for the London Lightning as Robinson, of course, one of the most gifted scorers in NBL Canada. He's looking to have another big night here.
Scott. This is Ryan Anderson. He backs up. 2 minutes. Trips as he tries to get around Brandon Robinson. He gets the fade, and it's easily collected there by Maurice Bolden.
Very out of control shot there. I know the shot clock was ticking down, but there was just a little bit of miscommunication going on offense on that play.
Robinson tries to swing around. Anderson had an arm up, and Robinson ran into it. That's going to be a foul.
Tony Bennett trying to keep Robinson out of this discussion. Make sure no one gets teed up. You gotta love Bennett because not only is he excellent on the court, but as a leader, as we saw there, keeping keeping Robinson out of there, making sure they don't take any technicals. He's just saying, let me talk to him. I got you, Brandon. We'll talk about this. And it's that kind of leadership that keeps their heads level, and that allows them to play this physical game. But when teams start taking shots back, they don't take any retaliation fouls because they're able to just sort of calm everyone down. And it's guys like Bennett that are huge parts of that leadership structure in Windsor.
Well, I mean, you've got Bennett, and you've got Kirk Williams Jr., and you've got Chris Commons, and to have those players be a part of all these great teams. You see an offensive foul there against Shaq Keith. To have a core of players in the NBLC is massive, considering if you look at this London team, they had 100% turnover from last season.
Yeah, and I think continuity is one of the most underrated things and overrated at times, because we've seen teams come in with a whole bunch of guys coming back, and it's like, well, they weren't the best guys to be bringing back. As we see Ryan Anderson, he's going to miss that 3. Whereas Windsor, they've identified their key players. They've done an excellent job at getting the ones that they really need to have return coming back, and they've done a good job of identifying which guys are part of that core. And yeah, it's been a great job roster building for the Windsor Express, and as we see guys like even Mo Bolden, who was on the team last year, Tony Bennett, Chris Commons, Kirk Williams Jr., just a great continuity and structure with Windsor, as Akeem Scott just blows by everyone there. Great play by the London point guard.
Using his speed to get up and around. Collins now into the game for London. For Windsor rather. He loses the ball, but switches it to Bolden at the last second. Bolden swinging, trying to get around Capers. Now trying to back in. There's a swat, and that's going to be another foul against Ryan Anderson as he puts both hands to the ground in disappointment, I think I'd say there. That's now 5 fouls for London, 4 for the Express. We've got a minute to go in this first quarter of Game 2. Shaq Keith getting set on the inbound. Had a very tidy game in Game 1. Very solid stats for him on 10 points, but very crucial 10 points. Very efficient shooter as well, as he gets the ball down low, tries to move around Kibbe, and he gets it. So Shaq Keith gets his first buckets of the game. 50 seconds now. Scott turns on the Jets. Stops. Now to Anderson, fakes the 3. Hands it off to Capers, contested. Bolden up in his face. Now Capers will take it up top. Here's Ryan Anderson for 3. It's deep and it's good.
Huge play there by Ryan Anderson, and we've seen him be that guy to come off that bench and swing momentum in London's favor. All 3 games against Orangeville, it was him coming into the game that really sealed it for London. And now he's having a different role, trying to get them a lead, and they're up 2.
Brandon Robinson playing a bit of a point guard role here. He's going to move it around Kibbe, who switches it. Very smart play. This is Bolden for 3. He misses it. Shaq Keith can't collect. Here's Anderson. As there's a change of possession with only a second left. Scott gets the shot off in time, but he airballs it. So the score after 1 quarter of play, London with a 25-23 lead. We're going to take a quick break. As always, if you're looking to sponsor Knoxford TV into the NBLC Finals, please get in touch. We'll be right back. And we're back here at Budweiser Gardens. Shaq Keith inbounds. Sharon Collins has the ball here for the Express as we start the second quarter. Collins waits, moves around Commons, who comically moves in front of the referee, maybe looking for a call. Bolden takes it up. It drops down. Kibbe will collect a very aggressive defensive rebound. Williamson along this near side. Capers stretching towards the net, and he'll slow down. Williamson now switches it off to Anderson. Anderson with a couple crucial threes in that first quarter. Scott dribbles. Swings around, 6 seconds of the shot clock. He somehow keeps it, but there's a foul call, and it's going to go against London.
Well, I think they're going to say Scott kind of bowled over Collins to get that ball, but it looked about 50-50 to me.
So Commons having a quick chat with the ref before he gets set on the inbound. Got a decent crowd here at Budweiser Gardens for Game 2 of the best of 7. Express have the ball. Robinson hands it off to Keith. Keith now to Collins. Collins waits. Now to Robinson for 3 in front of the London bench. It's no good. Collected here by Anderson. London Lightning on the move. Anderson steps. Looks up top. Scott has it. Collins gets in front of Kibbe there on defense. Or my apologies, that's Shaq Keith. Williamson moves along the baseline, stops, puts it up. It's good for 2.
Garrett Williamson still hot after that first quarter. He's having a big game so far tonight.
Collins to Robinson, and now to Shaq Keith. 10:40 left in the second. Collins sitting on top of the 3-point line there at the very top. Bolden tries to move around Anderson, now backs into Anderson on the fade. He can't get that one to go. Kibbe collects.
That sure looked like it would be good, though. If Mo Bolden's cooking early, that could be a bad sign for the Lightning, although turnovers won't help them either.
Robinson grabs the ball, puts it up in an athletic fashion, but he'll be fouled. He's going to go to the line. You know, when Mo Bolden gets that fadeaway shot, no one can really catch him.
Well, he's 6'11", but he's got the skills of a small forward, and when he gets that shot, the release point's way too high for a small forward to jump up and block, and then if it's a big man covering him, Bolden's got the speed to just go right by him. We've seen Bolden in this league for a while, and for a long time he's got this great package of tools, but can he put it all together? And we've seen him have those flashes of brilliance, and if he can start getting some consistency here, that would be huge for Mo Bolden. And again, he's a great project to have because he's 6'11" and can play very much like a small forward.
London moving the ball up, 27-24. Looks like Alex Johnson is preparing to come into the game for the Express. Capers waits for some motion. Corey has it now. 10 seconds on the shot clock, 10 minutes on the game clock. Kibbe collects on the fade, gets it to go.
Tough bucket for Eric Kibbe, who scores his first points of these NBLC playoffs. Just kind of throws it up there, hopes it goes in, and it does.
Collins still has it on the far side. Foul. Looks like that involved Chris Commons and maybe Tyshawn Patterson in there. There's Patterson in the game. He had a wicked tumble there on this near side. Brandon Robinson sprints off into the clubhouse, so hopefully he's okay. Obviously sprinting full speed, he should be. Keith, Collins in motion. 9:42 on the clock. Johnson gets his first touches. Looks to switch it. Mo Bolden open on the far side. Antsy to get the ball. Commons puts it up. Gorgeous play with the right hand.
Great touch by Chris Commons. He's kind of a finesse power forward there. And he's able to stretch the floor too. He's a very versatile offensive player if he can get that going.
Williamson to Kibbe. Patterson in motion. He can shoot a 3. He's in a decent spot for it. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Corey will take the 3. He will miss. It's tipped. There's going to be a foul. 9:08 left in this one. In the second quarter, of course, and first half. Stephen Maxwell coming to the game and Eric Kibbe making way on his playoff debut. 24 seconds on the shot clock as Garrett Williamson gets set on the inbound. 3 fouls for the Lightning, now just 1 for the Express in this quarter. Patterson collects, he's mauled, and he's going to step out of bounds.
Good defense there by the Windsor Express. Superman Johnson in particular being able to just play a little bit physical without fouling. And that's one of the things the Windsor Express do. They're very disciplined in their physicality.
Collins. Now to Commons. Bolden calls for it. Capers managed to tip that ball, but Bolden collects. Moves around the play there, and that's Shaq Keith getting 2.
They're going to call a blocking foul.
Oh.
So that's going to be an and 1 play there. Great job by Shaq Keith.
Quick change coming up here for the Express. Kirk Williams Jr. back in. And Mo Bolden making way. So Shaq Keith going to the line. A 22-year-old. We mentioned in Game 1, started the season with Raptors 905 and played in the exhibition game against the Lightning. Of course, with the Raptors 905, they played London and the Express before they started their inaugural season in the fall. Williamson waits, 8:38 left. We'll have Aaron Sanders of the Windsor Express broadcast team on at halftime to get his thoughts. Patterson puts it up, collected by Maxwell, swatted by Chris Commons. Patterson gets it down.
No luck there for the Windsor Express. They do a brilliant job defensively, but can't get those rebounds, and London able to grab it and put up 2.
Johnson. Shaq Keith. Williamson matching up against him along the baseline. Great defense from Williamson, but left Shaq Keith all alone there afterwards. 31-30, still a tight game. Williamson at the very top, 8 minutes here. Patterson, 4-3. He misses. It's taken by Commons on the rebound. No foul call there, as a couple of appeals there from the Windsor bench. As always, there's a decent Windsor Express contingent. You can see them in the crowd wearing a lot of red, kind of in behind Windsor's bench for the most part and up into the stands. Quite a number of traveling fans, as always. Williamson draws the foul. So that'll be now 4 fouls for the London Lightning and 2 for the Windsor Express. We've got 7.5 left to play in this first half. As we mentioned before, Halifax and St. John, Game 2 of that series, just getting set to take place in about a half an hour's time at Scotiabank Centre in Halifax. Hurricanes off to a fantastic start in that one, a 132-89 win. Obviously the winner of this series will play the winner of that one in the NBL Finals. Patterson misses it. Capers with a very creative putback attempt. It's no good. Williams, my apologies. That's Shaq Keith draining 2.
Great pass there from Kirk Williams Jr. Just uses the bounce pass to open that one up. And Windsor and London both kind of on a roll, but Windsor's got the energy on their side right now. And I don't think there's a timeout, actually. I think they're trying to figure out what's going on with the scoreboard here. And it's completely died now.
As you can see that on the broadcast, the scoreboard has gone dark. And you got some referees obviously talking to the scorers table trying to get that sorted. Looking through that first quarter of play, Chris, any stats that really stick out to you? I mean, a couple decent performances from London, obviously off to a good start, but anything that sticks out to you?
Well, I think the 11 points by Brendan Robinson in quarter 1, a big one for the London Lightning, or pardon me, the Windsor Express. It was a big one in a bad way for the London Lightning. But,
you don't need to apologize. You're technically right.
But for the Windsor Express, having guys like Robinson shooting the ball well, Robinson and Bolden almost single-handedly from that 3 position just really, really took over that game. And that's not something that the London Lightning can really put up with in this game. If Robinson or Bolden are getting hot, like, you need to start double teaming or something. I didn't think there was a terrible amount of defensive adjustments when guys were starting to catch fire for the Express, and that kind of cost the Lightning.
Garrett Williamson with 7 points for London through the first quarter. He led his category through that.
Should say we had a bit of a bizarre sight. The London Knights usually they practice in this building, but today, because the Lightning are playing, the Knights aren't practicing here, but a lot of their equipment is still here. So at various points, we've seen on the one baseline players in full hockey gear but wearing running shoes, walking back and forth around some of the around some of the courtside seating. Not something you see at a basketball game very often.
Not necessarily. And we're up in the press box, and with Budweiser Gardens, the concourse has obviously glass on the outside, so we've been walking towards the press box and seeing guys in full hockey gear getting into vehicles.
Yeah.
They had the helmets on, too. It's like, just take the helmet off.
Yeah, you don't need to wear the helmet.
Safety first while driving.
You can carry that.
Definitely a bizarre sight for sure. Well, the London Knights off to the Memorial Cup after winning that their OHL title. Congratulations to them, obviously. Looks like we're ready to go here. 7:09 on the clock, 32-31. The Express with the lead as they get the scoreboard all sorted out. Inbound coming. Looks like Scott's going to take it. Maxwell was set to take it, but Scott said, "I'll do it." Looks like it was an order from Kyle Julius on the bench. 7 minutes here. We're back underway. Scott calls Williamson in. Again, 7 points through the first quarter. That's a foul. And it looks like Williamson having a bit of neck troubles. Change rather coming here for the Windsor Express. Shaq Keith heading out and Billy Rush coming in. 6:53 on the clock. Williamson to Scott. Pivots at the very top here. Waits for some movement. He'll find Maxwell here on the near side. He moves up into the key. Ball falls to Sharon Collins in the Windsor Express. 4 fouls for London, 3 for the Express so far. Collins, the former Jayhawk, moving it across. Played for the Charlotte Bobcats as well in their camp, summer league as well. Commons switches it. Collected there by Scott, who just gets the pass off to Capers. Creative dribbling from him. He gives it to Maxwell, who gets the N1 and the bucket. London take the lead here, 33-32.
Huge basket there, and Stephen Maxwell's having a good night. He didn't really show up too much in game one there. Windsor did a good job of neutralizing him. And Maxwell, an athletic freak, very, very good at getting those and one plays because he's so aggressive to the basket, and because of his speed, he's got so much momentum carrying him there that defenders just kind of have no choice but to hold on when he's cutting to the rim.
Of course, the Rookie of the Year award winner gets that one to go. Maxwell with a 10-8 in the first game of this series. 10 points, 8 rebounds. He's obviously averaging around that double-double mark. That's really been the storyline around him. Chris Commons also averaging a double-double for most of the season. Gets that one to go. Ties the game up at 34 all. We're halfway through the second.
And I really just love the court awareness on Chris Commons there. He just has a sense of where he needs to be at all times. And it's a huge impact on this game when he's able to get going on the inside.
Maxwell takes it up to Patterson for 3. Billy Rush in his face. Johnson collects it here for the Express. Makes the play call, 4 fouls each. Takes it to Commons. Billy Rush in motion. This is Kirk Williams Jr. Not his shot there in this near side 3-point line. Scott shrugs off a defender, takes it to Patterson, who's fouled.
Hard, too.
Mentioned it there before, but he took a very, very athletic dive there in the first game.
Well, I mean, if you check out LF Press, London Free Press, we've got a picture of Tyjon Patterson. He's literally horizontal after the contact.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here at Budweiser Gardens. We're back here at Budweiser Gardens. Marty Thompson and Chris Karcher with the call. London and Windsor on the floor. Tyshawn Patterson gets set here from the line. We've got 5:21 left in this first half of game 2. Patterson misses the first one. In terms of fouls, Chris, it's been relatively tame. Neither team maxed out the first quarter, and now we're sitting at 5 and 4 at the Express with the greater of that total.
Well, it's been a good job by the Express. I think they came into this one aware of the foul troubles they had last game and just doing a better job of keeping the arms straight up and down. You don't need to knock a guy to the floor every time, you know. And they're doing a good job of staying disciplined.
Alex Superman Johnson with it. Still has possession. Moves around Ryan Anderson. Takes it to the hoop.
Maxwell almost got that, though.
Great job there from Johnson, who really playing limited minutes through most of these playoffs in the first series against Niagara, but saw significant minutes here in game 1. Again, mostly just because of the foul trouble. Windsor really forced to shuffle the deck in terms of the lineup. Akeem Wright misses the distance shot. Will get his own rebound, though. Fresh shot clock. Williamson takes the 3, and he misses. Johnson has it now. Bennett looks for it. Anderson tracking him, giving him lots of space. Bennett moves around for 3. Tony Bennett misses. Scott has it. 4:20. Scott waiting for some movement. Wright will be the guy in motion. He tries to set the pick. Oh, lots of space for Scott, and he's going to be good from there.
Well, Bill Jones is furious that they let Scott get that open. Of course, Akeem Scott averaged almost 30 points per game in the first round. He only had 14 in game 1, but you still can't leave him open.
Bennett off to Johnson. Bennett trying to find Kirk Williams Jr. He's in a battle with Williamson. It's tipped, swatted there by Chris Commons trying to gain possession. It will fall out off of his fingertips. London ball. So 38-36, London with the 2-point advantage.
How'd you get such great seats?
Scott hands it off to Garrett Williamson. That Williamson-Kirk Williams Jr. matchup has been really interesting tonight. Very aggressive as well. Brandon Robinson matching up against Williamson on the offensive side for London. Swatted there by Maurice Bolden, and now here come the Windsor Express on the fast break. Bounce pass. Here's Brandon Robinson. He backs in.
Total traveled.
Johnson for 3 on this near side. Misses it. And now here come London on the fast break. This is Scott with Stephen Maxwell. Scott will be fouled, though, and he will go to the line. That was interesting with the
London bench just popped right up.
Possible foul call. It's hard to tell from our angle just because
Well, I think they were asking for a travel call there when Robinson stopped. Took a few too many steps.
Regardless, 2 shots here for London. They've got a 2-point lead. Akeem Scott with it. Gets the first one. We mentioned before, London with an atrocious night. Well, both teams really were very poor from the line in game 1. The Express went 55%. London in around the 66% range. Neither team really able to convert. Of course, the other important tidbit of information there is the fact that London went to the line 48 times. Shooting 66% can be really bad when you go to the line that many times. Bennett tries to work around. He'll take it to Shaq Keith. In motion. Finds a lane. Rolls it. No good. Now here comes Garrett Williamson in the London Lightning on the fast break. Ryan Anderson, corner 3. He can shoot those. He misses that one, however. And now here come the Express.
Tough luck, but I love the ball movement there from the Lightning to get Anderson open.
Tony Bennett. And had 10 rebounds in all 3 games against Niagara in the first round. Shaq Keith, great ball movement here from Windsor. There's Maurice Bolden. Can't get it. Will get the rebound, though. Nails the putback.
And there's where Maurice Bolden's skill set causes so much trouble for London. Because he's got that quickness as well as his height. We saw on the defensive end, he had that block on Akeem Wright because he was able to keep up with him and still had that height advantage. And then he uses it again on offense, gets himself open, and is able to make the rebound bucket.
Anderson dribbles, passes. Stephen Maxwell gets that one. Great play by Stephen Maxwell along the baseline. Keeps London's lead at 4 points. We've got 2 minutes to play in this first half. Of course, Aaron Sanders from Windsor Express live stream team will be on at halftime to discuss things about this game and the series in general. Of course, the series will shift to Windsor on Tuesday. The Express with it. Robinson, of course he's going to get that one. Brandon Robinson, money with that little hook shot. 2-point lead here for the Lightning. They've got the ball. Scott to Williamson. Right, setting the pick, now grabbing it. Trying to spin off Brandon Robinson. Now Commons in him. These are two tough defenders. Maxwell loses it. Shaq Keith has it now for Windsor. Fakes the long pass, takes it to Brandon Robinson. He looks around, finds the space, doesn't shoot. Commons spins, fires, gets 2 to go. Timeout by the London Lightning and Kyle Julius. So London maybe trying to slow things down again, is now the game is tied 42-all.
And I think London's got to be happy with this result right now, keeping this one tight. Windsor's been playing very well, and they're not going to let them gain an inch. As we see this time out here, I think London's going to want to continue pushing it in transition. That's been their identity most of the year, and it's what they've been trying against Windsor for most of the Game 1 and Game 2. So that's something they're going to look into doing coming out of this timeout. For Windsor, it's about control, pace, slow it down if you can. You don't want to turn into a running match with the London Lightning, so they're going to look to just really structure their play. I'd keep going to Mo Bolden. There's not really an answer on London's roster for him. He had a huge Game 1. He's got that little extra jump in his step because this is his former team. So I think Mo Bolden, highly motivated and highly skilled, could give the London Lightning a lot of problems.
Bolden with just 2 points and 3 rebounds, but a very solid game, especially on the defensive end.
Well, it's not just about the points and rebounds, it's about his impact in the lineup, because we saw him with a huge block on Akeem Wright there. He's giving fits to Wright, and Wright's been London's most consistent playoff performer. Of course, Akeem Wright's been averaging 16 points, 13 rebounds in these playoffs. So if you can knock him off his game, that's a huge, huge factor for the Windsor Express going forward. And Mo Bolden can be a key part of doing that.
Akeem Wright with 7 rebounds already in this game. Williamson switches it. Ryan Anderson in front of the Windsor bench. Can't get that 3 to go. We've got 54 seconds left in this first half. Bennett makes a play call. Shaq Keith lurking down towards the net and now to the far side corner. Bennett finds Robinson in the post. Again, another mismatch. This Scott versus Robinson lineup. Oh my goodness. Brandon Robinson with the fade. He's now got 16 points.
Such an amazing offensive talent. Brendan Robinson, we've seen him shoot threes. We see him charge the basket. That time he just posts up and is able to get the fadeaway jumper.
Scott on the move and gets that one to roll.
Team Scott having some answer points of his own there. He's such a quick guard, but he does a good job of not just scoring, but being able to distribute. And what happens is people start thinking he's going to make a pass. That's when he starts shooting, and when you think he's going to start shooting, that's when he starts passing again.
Brandon Robinson is fouled before that shot. We've got 6 minutes to go in the second. The horn goes. It looks like there's a timeout. I'm going to guess that is on the Windsor side. That appears to be correct.
Yeah, I believe they're going to try and set up a play here.
Of course, Robinson was fouled there before the shot. So again, they've got around 6 seconds to make a play happen here before the stroke of halftime in Game 2 of this best-of-7 series, the Central Division Final. As mentioned before, Game 3 on Tuesday at the WFCU Center. That's a 7:30 start. Game 4 will be on Thursday, and then Game 5, if necessary, will take place here at Budweiser Gardens 6 days from now on the 21st. Then Game 6, if necessary, would take place in Windsor on the 27th. That's a Friday, so quite a bit of separation between those games. And then finally, if there's a Game 7, it will be played on May 31st and that's a Tuesday. Of course, we mentioned it before in Game 1, some scheduling issues, I guess you could say, here at Budweiser Gardens. May a very, very busy month for them, even though the London Knights aren't even playing. Of course, they've already won their OHL championship, but lots of concerts. We've Cirque du Soleil was here, will be here. Avatar.
For an entire week.
Yeah, for an entire week. So, and with the change of schedule, for sure, London would not have encountered this if it was the conventional schedule or what it was before. They decided to change this year to start the season on Boxing Day. But again, if this goes to full 7 games rather, that'll be a very, very long series. Go pretty much the whole month of May.
Well, part of the other reason the whole shifting the schedule back hasn't worked out as planned in London is the fact the Knights went on a deep run of their own. And even though the Knights didn't play a whole ton of those games because they kept sweeping everyone, they did have those dates still booked off. So even if London wanted to use it, there was still going to be a Knights game potentially on that day, so the schedule was booked off for that.
Bolden to Chris Commons. Where's the set play? Here it is. 3 over top of Maxwell, and it's no good. So, at halftime, very intriguingly, this game is tied up 44-all. London and Windsor at a deadlock here at Budweiser Gardens. Marty Thompson and Aaron Sanders here in the booth. Aaron, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it.
Well, it's glad to be back here with you, Marty, and most people would say it's a carbon copy of what we see in the first game, a really close game, but nonetheless, every game is different. You never know what's going to happen, but nonetheless, we're deadlocked, 44-all.
Yeah, your thoughts on the game at the beginning here. I mean, it hasn't been as physical as last one, but it's still very, very close.
Well, within the first 24 minutes, we all know London needed to win this game to tie the series up and guarantee a Game 5 back here. This was a game of redemption for them. They want to come out with a vengeance, and they did in the first quarter. What they did so far, in the first quarter, they attacked the rim. They scored 14 points in the paint, so more than half of what they got in the first half. But for Windsor, on the other hand, they had some great ball movement every now and then. It led some good shot choices from the mid-range. They were 50% from the field and 12 points in the paint. But the second quarter was a different story. Think of it as a flip, if you will. London, great fast breaks and transitions, great all the way. Powerful finishes to the basket, led them to the line most of the time. That's where they got to the points. As for Windsor, like I said, different story. Defense inside was too cluttered. That led to London to get off great on the fast breaks and transitions inside, and that really bit them right there. But despite this being a close game, you know, both clubs' free throws have been their vices so far.
Yeah.
And go back to the first quarter, none of the teams relied desperately on the threes. Even if they did, they kept on moving the ball and tried to drive inside, so the three-pointers wasn't a problem. It's just the free throws.
Brandon Robinson, 16 points.
You know, Brandon Robinson, great motivator right there. I mean, he's an all-around ball player, as I mentioned over back at Windsor throughout the whole season. Guy could drive inside, and when they need the points, they don't rely on him just to shoot desperation threes. He actually takes it on his own to drive inside. So for Maurice Bolden to get that type of edge right there for Windsor, that's the type they need to get back in the second half and try to pick up the tempo.
Well, Mo Bolden as well, only 2 points, a handful of rebounds, but very, very effective on the defensive side. Chris and I were just talking about it.
Well, no problem right there. But yes, Windsor, you know, they really need to pick it up. I mean, they can't rely on Mo Bolden and Chris Commons all the time. And I've seen there's a couple of times where they put in their big boys. We're talking about Shaq Keith. We're talking about Chris Commons. Plenty of times they would put so much depth in the roster when London went to their small ball crew, but they could not pick up with the tempo. So what they need to do is, if they have that big advantage as far as depth is concerned, they need to pick it up.
Well,
London's doing well.
Theo Davis yet to see the floor as well. Obviously, those guys are limited minutes. Also Rudolph Jolly as well.
Yeah.
But they performed very well, especially in the second half here at Budweiser Gardens in Game 1.
I cannot believe what I've seen a couple of nights ago. I mean, it led up to a 13-point lead, but the Lightning came back. An unbelievable 4-point play from Ryan Anderson near the end of the game. Persistency is the name of the game. Most of the time, it's not about depth or pressure. It's about how you persevere. So for these two teams, they know how to persevere. But Lightning, they close out stronger. Windsor Express, that's been one of their vices, trying to close out as we head into the final 24 minutes.
It was a very interesting final 24 minutes in Game 1. What are your thoughts about Game 2 moving into the last 2 quarters here?
Well, you know what? We'll go quickly to London. London, all they have to do is just continue the box out. If they continue the box out, that will decrease Windsor's chances of following through with their shots. Secure the ball movement. If they keep on moving around and go for higher percentage shots, they got shot into it. They keep on driving. As for Windsor, on the other hand, you have to follow your shots and you got to go and kick inside. No time for desperation yet. You guys haven't done that yet. But if you start shooting threes, if you miss it, he's seeking on desperation. But when London, like I said, if they have a small lineup, take advantage of it to drive, use that transition game, and use your big boys in there to take it inside and drive it in deep.
Absolutely. Aaron, always a pleasure.
Mario,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with the third quarter in just a few moments. And we're back. The third quarter of Game 2 of this Central Division final between London and Windsor, all tied up at 44. A very defensive battle in the first 2 quarters of this game. London's got the ball. Team Wright misses that one. Maxwell with the rebound. He's fouled. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth. Chris, sure. I guess your thoughts on that first quarter, or first half, rather. I mean, we expect low-scoring games with the Windsor Express, but I think the one issue is you see Williamson fouled as he tried to go for the dunk. The one issue with Windsor is that, yes, they're able to keep teams, below 100 most of the time, but they rarely score above 100, it seems.
Yeah, and it was such a shock almost when they beat the Niagara River Lions 197. But that's the thing Windsor does, is they just slow the pace to a crawl. They make you play their game. And the London Lightning, to their credit, have been a team that have made other teams play to their game, which is a much quicker paced one and a more high scoring one. So the closeness of the game is kind of dictated by the fact that you've got one team that's constantly trying to push it, constantly trying to score, go, 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 and then the other team that is slow, 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 slow. So they kind of counter each other out, and that's where we're at this middle ground here, where it's been a decently paced game. We've seen some good transition buckets, but we've also seen these teams kind of slowly trying to feel each other out, figure out what they're going to do. That was a huge basket there by Kirk Williams Jr. Beautiful shot. But that's kind of what happened in that first half, was both teams trying to instill their own pace onto the other team, and both of them kind of grappling back and forth as to who was going to take charge.
Scott hands it off to Maxwell. Windsor take a 1-point lead with that Williams shot. Maxwell will be fouled here through that shooting motion. He's going to go to the line. Stephen Maxwell led London with 11 points to that first half. Looking to add to that total here. Halifax and St. John, that game is now underway. Looks like the Hurricanes have a 13-11 lead. Looks like they're about halfway through the first quarter there. As I mentioned before, Halifax winning game 1 of that series last night. Maxwell gets that second one to go, gives London a 1-point lead. Bennett has possession. Team Scott not letting him have any space, even in the backcourt. Oh, here we go. Chris Commons in the post, traveling as he tried to back into Nick Okori. Really wanted that mismatch, I guess. 3 fouls for the Express early here in this third quarter. 0 for the London Lightning.
Should mention we thought a storyline might be the foul trouble. Chris Commons and Billy Rush each have 3, but otherwise, Ryan Anderson also has 3. Otherwise, no one really anywhere close to being in foul trouble yet.
Now keep in mind, we had 69 fouls in game 1. Right now, we're sitting at 23. Billy Rush rushing down the court. Here's Brandon Robinson, now to Commons, and that's Kirk Williams Jr. finishing it at the hoop.
Beautiful finish from Kirk Williams Jr. And Commons and Williams Jr. really do have great chemistry on the court together. We've seen a couple of beautiful passing plays between the two just in this game alone.
Scott tries to find Maxwell. Down low pass is tipped. Now here come the Express. You got a 1-point lead. Can they add to it? Commons moves it around Williamson. Williamson will get the ball back after that London stop. Still has it. Trucks through Brandon Robinson. Maxwell with the offensive rebound. Gets it again. I'm going to say that fell out off of Windsor, so London will get set on the inbound here with a fresh shot clock.
Well, it's interesting. Stephen Maxwell only had 2 rebounds in the first half, which is an awfully low number for a guy who averaged 11 a game during the regular season. And right there, it gets to add 2 more. So on one sequence, we saw him match his entire first half rebounding.
Corey slows things down a bit here for London. This is Scott to Wright. Scott wants it back. Wants it back again. Wright, bounce pass, finds Maxwell, slams it.
Beautiful play by Akeem Wright. He hasn't been shooting terribly well, but that's one of the things that Akeem Wright needs to do if he's going to have struggles shooting the ball, is to make sure he can play that distributor role. And that time we see it work excellently, passing it to Maxwell for 2.
Bennett tries to move around Corey, finds Kirk Williams Jr., who catches it, and puts it down all in one motion.
Great job. Kirk Williams Jr. having a blistering start to this half.
And showed the range there with that outside jumper, and then back-to-back plays at the basket. 9:10 left in the third. This is Stephen Maxwell. That's not his shot, so he's going to take it. Over top of Chris Commons. He won't let it to go, but unfortunate for Maxwell not to look for the pass there, I suppose. Robinson, bounce down low. This is Williams. Tries to spin off of Williamson. Good. Wright gets it. Another stop here for London. Corey takes a jumper, gets it to go.
He looked off Akeem Scott there, got the defender to kind of freeze in his spot, and that opened him up for the shot. Great job by Nick Corey, using his eyes as a weapon.
Nick Corey now 1 for 6 from the field today, and he was something similar in game 1 as well. And only 2 baskets for him in both games. Brandon Robinson misses that one, hits corner of the rim and the backboard. Akeem Scott looking to maybe stretch the floor a bit. Bounce pass. Here's Williamson, takes it up, and obviously he is fouled by Tony Bennett. Bennett recording his first foul of this game.
And that's where Garrett Williamson's at his best. Not necessarily getting points around the rim, but drawing fouls around the rim. He had a game during his first stint with the London Lightning where he actually took 20 free throws by himself. And that just is a testament to how good he is at being aggressive to the bucket and adjusting his body so he doesn't take a charge, and instead making it so that it's an opposing player who takes the foul.
First shot's good there from Williamson. We do a lot of prep on these players, but when they go to the line 20 times, you run out of things to talk about.
Usually you can say the free throw shooting as a story when they've shot maybe their first 10 of them, but by the time you hit 20, you have to start treating them like three-pointers or else it's a dull conversation.
3-point lead for London. Windsor's got the ball. Bennett trying to back down Scott. See how aggressive Scott has been with Bennett all day in terms of not giving him any space. Bennett still somehow gets that one to go.
Incredible shot there from Tony Bennett. He's having a good game. He didn't shoot great against the London Lightning in game 1. He had those killer three-pointers, but his actual percentage wasn't that great. And this game, though, Bennett shooting much better.
Akeem Scott for 3 in front of his bench, and he's got it.
That's a nice little answer. Him and Bennett have been going back and forth, and I fully expect Bennett to go right back at him here.
Foul. Looks like Scott was just a bit too rough with Bennett, but he still gets the crowd energized there with a quick little clap towards the middle section there, the lower bowl. Of course, the upper bowl open again at Budweiser Gardens. It's pretty much every game at this point of the season. Robinson tries to move around right. He will. He takes it up. Gets the roll.
Great play by Brandon Robinson, who's having a fantastic game again for the Windsor Express. That gives him 18 points on the night. He's shooting 8 of 11 in the game.
Then coming off 32 points in game 1. Averaging 28 points per game this playoff. No good there from Garrett Williamson. Here's the man, Robinson, for 3. Can he add to it? He will! Brandon Robinson, 21 points.
He holds the phone up. Call my agent, because Brandon Robinson is killing it right now. Dude is feeling it from beyond the arc, and that's another bucket to his stat total, 21 in the game.
Corey can't get that one. Very stern defense from Robinson on the defensive side. He's going to get it back. He's the hot hand, Brandon Robinson! Unbelievable stuff. Single-handedly gives London a 4-point lead. Or Windsor, rather. My apologies.
Brandon Robinson. This timeout isn't about getting a strategy or the team's not having it go well. This time's about making sure Brandon Robinson's hand cools off. Because holy, is he starting to light up the London Lightning. I like the timeout. Stop it now before it gets out of hand. But Brandon Robinson with 24 points. And we're not even halfway through the third. Those are fantastic numbers from the NBLC veteran.
Well, and you saw him play defense there right at the rim, and he sprinted down the court. Pretty much everyone in the arena had eyes on him because he was coming, not necessarily being marked, but he sprinted straight to the three-point line and got that shot off. Unbelievable stuff from Brandon Robinson.
And again, 10 of 13 shooting, 3 for 4 from three-point line. Brandon Robinson is having himself another amazing game. And the Windsor Express looking pretty good right now. They got to be feeling good when you've got a guy like Brandon Robinson feeling it from beyond the arc. We saw some confident plays by Tony Bennett, and I think they're at their best. I think the Windsor Express are at their best when they're playing with some swagger.
Yep, 60-56. The Express with the lead there. Brandon Robinson with a fantastic play. Fantastic set of plays. to give the Express the lead here. Third quarter was big for the Express in game one, and they're already out there to 16-12 advantage. As the Express won the second quarter by a margin of 21-19. 6:43 on the clock. 4 fouls for the Express. There's 1 for the London Lightning. Paul Julius taking lots of time to talk to his men.
Certainly does feel like an extended timeout here.
Looks like the referees are having a quick chat with a couple officials on the Windsor bench.
I think the Windsor coaches think a couple of those Brendan Robinson plays deserved a trip to the foul line. Before the 2 3-pointers, of course, but...
All of a sudden we're back here. Halfway through the third quarter. Maxwell at the very top. Here's a Corey. Waiting for some movement. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Williamson takes it out to Maxwell. 5 seconds here as Akeem Scott tries to get a 3, and he will get a 3.
Huge bucket there from Akeem Scott. The pass was perfect. Hit him right in the middle of the chest. And when you get the pass right there, it's so easy to get the shot off in rhythm. Great play by the Lightning.
Tony Bennett for 3. Can't get the roll, but it's collected by Maxwell. Big stop here for the Bolts. They're now down by 1. Corey moves across the top into the corner here. This is Akeem Wright. Misses the 3. It's taken by Maxwell, but there's a foul.
I think this one might be against Chris Commons. Yeah, they're saying he grabbed the arm.
So Commons now out of the game, and that's his 4th foul. Mo Bolden and Shaq Keith coming in. The other player leaving for the Express is Mr. Billy Rush.
Saw Chris Commons didn't look very happy leaving the court there, and I think he understands that he's not a guy who can be getting into foul trouble, and this is the second game where he's been in foul trouble.
Akeem Scott fakes the 3, moves it in all the way. It's tipped around. Who's got it? It's tipped out. Eventually, Akeem Wright will collect. Fresh shot clock here for London. Very scattered defense. Williamson takes it up. Won't get the roll, but he will go to the line.
Great pass there from Akeem Scott. He had everyone thinking shot and then just fed it right to Williamson down in the post. Good play by the London Lightning there. They've done a good job. It looked like the Express might take off a bit, or pull out of the station, you could say, when they had those big 3-pointers from Brendan Robinson, but London's done a good job of neutralizing that run.
Williamson 3 for 4 from the line. Gets that one to drop. London a lot better from the charity stripe in this one. Well, I shouldn't say a lot better, still around 69%, but improving every time Garrett Williamson goes to the line. They're now 11 for 14. Mo Bolden gets his first touches of this second half. His Express are down by 1. Shaq Keith muscles a Corey, and there's going to be a foul on the defense. Obviously no basket there.
Yeah, it's going to be a blocking foul on Nick Corey.
6 fouls for the Express, and now London up to a total of 2 in this quarter. Inbound coming here for the Express. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Bennett manages to tip it to Shaq Keith, who's in the post up against Nick Corey. Moves it around. Shaq Keith with a fantastic finish.
Beautiful touch around the rim from Shaq Keith. He did a good job of identifying the mismatch he had with Nick Corey guarding him.
Akeem Scott with a great answer back. He turns on the Jets.
Akeem Scott having a great second half here, and he can be a difference maker for this Lightning team. Ooh, Garrett Williamson the block.
Shaq Keith with the shot there, and there's Kirk Williams Jr. trying to get one off, and he will. And he will go to the line. Big and one play here for Windsor. And Shaq Keith with a gorgeous finish on the last Windsor sequence. Of course, he had an unreal shot. I know Windsor, the Express, had sharing it around the social media through game one, just a kind of a two-handed over-the-back shot. Wasn't even looking at the net.
Well, sometimes when you have that amazing touch around the rim, you don't even need to look at the basket. You just have such a good sense of where you are on the court. I think Shaq Keith's one of those players who's able to make those finesse plays just because he knows exactly where he is at all times.
Ryan Anderson coming into the game. Nick Corey making way for the hometown London Lightning. Game tied 63-all, 4:56 left in this one, third quarter. Quick update on the Halifax St. John game. The Hurricanes up 27-16. That's also a game 2. Right in the post up against Shaquille O'Keefe. Spins, fires, misses. It's tipped around. Mo Bolden will collect. Now here comes Brandon Robinson. Again, 24 points for him so far in this game. He goes for another 2, but he's fouled. He's going to go to the line. Oh no, it was an offensive foul.
Oh.
Robinson not happy about that one?
I wouldn't be happy about it either.
Regardless, London ball. That's now 7 fouls for the Express. Keep that in mind. We've still got 4.5 left in this third. Anderson tiptoeing, looking his way to the top. This is Akeem Wright. Finds Anderson in the corner. 4-3. Hits the top part of the rim there. Outer part of the rim, I should say. And it falls out. Again, still a tie game. Tony Bennett moves it around all the way along the baseline. Oh, finds Shaq Keith with a gorgeous finish as well.
Beautiful pass there from Tony Bennett, one of the best assist men in NBL Canada. He had 10 assists per game in that first round series. Not as many in game 1, but he's a very gifted distributor.
Right, 4-3 over top of Kirk Williams Jr. Akeem Wright gives London a 1-point lead.
Huge 3 there from Akeem Wright. But neither team seems to be able to just pull away here. Both teams counterpunching back and forth.
Kirk Williams Jr. at the very top. Waits for Brandon Robinson. He rolls it to Bolden. Bolden swings around his former teammate in Garrett Williamson. It's tipped out, and they're going to say it fell out off of Garrett Williamson. Eric Kibbe coming into the game here for London. Stephen Maxwell coming out.
I like that they're starting to use Kibbe. I think he's a good energy guy. And I think we saw when Maxwell went out of the game in game 1, the energy levels seemed to drop a bit. Kibbe keeps it up there.
Fantastic defender of the ball as well. Kirk Williams Jr. is fouled on the shot, so he is going to go to the line. London now up to 4 fouls in this quarter. 66-65. So Williams Jr. having a quick chat there with Brandon Robinson before he partakes in his free throws. And Windsor 3 for 7 from the line. Checkmate that 4 for 8. Shooting around 50% from the line and also around 50% from the field so far today. They're 29 of 55 from the floor. Williamson charges, gets it. No, he will not. It's tipped there by Kibbe off of the backboard. Bolden fires that pass. Bennett fires another one. Here's Brandon Robinson, 4-3. No good. Bolden with a big slam, though.
Great job by Maurice Bolden not to quit on the play. He still charged the basket. Akeem Scott blitzing down the floor, though.
3-point lead here for the Express. The ball falls out off of Garrett Williamson. Windsor get the ball back. Marcus Capers coming into the game to replace Garrett Williamson. Perhaps maybe a defensive adjustment from Kyle Julian.
Yeah, I think he wants, when Mo Bolden's in there, Marcus Capers, he's nowhere near as tall, but he's got long wingspan. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Capers in to defend Bolden.
See there, Capers standing in front of number 1, Bolden in red. Akeem Wright with the difficult job of matching up against Brandon Robinson. There's Kibbe trying to contest. Oh my goodness, Brandon Robinson.
No one can stop this man. He is absolutely on fire. And if I'm the Windsor Express, I'm just going to ride him into the next round because Brandon Robinson just showing exactly why he's so highly regarded in NBL Canada.
Shaq Keith has the ball on the fast break. He'll take it all the way to the hoop. The Express with a significant lead here in this third quarter.
Yeah, I get a bucket or else I'm taking a timeout if I'm the London Lightning.
And looks like Julius just walked up to the officials table there rather. Akeem Scott, answer back 3. He's got it. 2 minutes. 74-69.
Huge 3-pointer from Akeem Scott. That keeps us within reach. Only a 5-point difference.
Keep your eye on Brandon Robinson as he walks along the far baseline in the corner.
Just give him the ball. Let him play one-on-one.
Tony Bennett will take it to the hoop. Instead, he will be fouled, and he will go to the line. Theo Davis getting set to come into the game here for the Express. Again, 74-69. The Express really turning it on here in the third. Outscoring London 30-25 for the most part, thanks to Brandon Robinson's crucial threes. Tony Bennett here at the line.
Should mention Akeem Scott going off, Tyshawn Patterson into the game at point guard. And again, we've been talking about the energy level. I think Patterson's in here to just run, and see if they can get Windsor caught in some trouble in transition.
Capers has the ball on the far side. He moves it across half. See Tyshawn Patterson, as you said, running into the corner. He wants the ball. Bennett's in front of him. It's a very tough assignment for Bennett, considering how fast Tyshawn Patterson is. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Right, hits the rim, but there's a foul. Looks like it's going to go against the Express. So Akeem Wright will go to the line. Meantime, Windsor getting set to make a change. Sharon Collins comes into the game. Tony Bennett makes way. So Akeem Wright at the line here for 2.
1 rebound away from another double-double in these NBLC playoffs.
Very, very impressive from the 31-year-old out of Philly.
In fact, there's only 1 game all playoffs, Game 3 against Orangeville, where London had it rather handily, so they didn't need to play him much. That's the only game of the playoffs he hasn't had a double-double.
Bolden off to Shaq Keith, who surveys the court as his teammates cross half. Brandon Robinson, keep your eye on him. He hands it off to Sharon Collins. Keith on the far side, 10 seconds on the shot clock, 1:18 left in the third. Collins tries to move around Kibbe. He will, and he will finish it at the hoop.
Yeah, and that time Shaq Keith had the ball, and Bill Jones was screaming at him to give it back to Collins because he knew that was a huge mismatch. Collins able to drive to the bucket right past Kibbe.
Patterson, Kibbe down low there as well, but Patterson doesn't even need it. Make it 78-72. Robinson with possession. See Wright hiking up his shorts. He knows this is going to be a tough defensive play. Oh my goodness, of course. Brendan Robinson, he's just short. You could expect that from him at this point.
Well, you can't make them all. So Brendan Robinson, we'll leave that one off the highlight reel.
Tyshawn Patterson moves it across. Turns on the Jets. Stops. Somehow keeps the ball there. Nearly lost it. 33 seconds left in the third. 10 seconds of the shot clock. Right. Tries to fake out Shaq Keith. He will, and he will get the shot off for 2.
Akeem Wright having himself a very big second half for the London Lightning. And again, he's been Mr. Consistency for this team. He didn't shoot very well in the first half, but he's done a much better job here in the third.
Collins moves across half. Patterson matching up against him. Collins not the fastest guard in the world, so Patterson, interesting matchup for him. Robinson on the fade over top of Akeem Wright. Brandon Robinson make it 29 points.
Great play by Brandon Robinson there, as that's going to end the third quarter. If I'm the London Lightning, I'm not going to have Akeem Wright continue to be the guy defending Brandon Robinson. I don't like that matchup for the Lightning. Brendan Robinson, though, is just on fire, and, just because Akeem Wright's not working doesn't mean I think there's anyone who can cover Robinson right now, but I'd be changing that matchup.
Windsor go into the third quarter break up by 4. We're going to take a quick break. As always, if you're looking to sponsor Knoxroom TV, get in touch. We're looking for sponsors for the NBL Finals. Fourth quarter of play coming up. London versus Windsor, game 2 of this Central Division final. The Express with a 4-point lead. It might not seem like much, but considering how this series has gone so far, and especially how this game has gone, this is a very significant lead here for the Express. They have the ball as well. Keith Robinson in motion. It's tipped up. There you go, Stephen Maxwell and the London Lightning get a stop. Scott moves it across. Into the corner. Nick Okori moves it along the baseline. He gets it to go!
Beautiful play. Nick Okori there takes the contact and still has the wherewithal to make that bucket. Great job by the London point guard.
That's going to be a foul against Theo Davis as well. That will be his first. He's played limited minutes in this game. Okori gets it. They get 77-80. Collins moves it across half. Onto the bit of space to shoot. Now after Bolden. Bolden runs into right to draw the foul. Also got the shot off there, so he's going to go to the line.
Yeah, I don't think Wright should be leaving his feet on that play, but Bolden does a good job faking, pumping and forcing him to try and jump and block that shot. I wouldn't have wanted to see Wright jump on that play, but Bolden, you know, if you're going to be able to get him to jump, you might as well get the contact and the foul.
Brandon Robinson and Theo Davis come out of the game. Alex Superman Johnson and Kirk Williams Jr. come in. Again, London in white, Windsor in red, Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth with you for this one. Bo Bolden, the former Bolt himself, gets that one to go. Makes it 82-77. Keem Scott with it. Bit of space here. Johnson matching up against him. Here's Maxwell to Okori. Tries to find some space at the top of the key, off to Garrett Williamson, who gets it to go.
Great pass there by Nick Okori to Garrett Williamson, and Williamson having one of his better games. That's going to give him 16 points in this one. Again, like Wright, he's been very consistent all playoffs long.
Johnson with it. 3-point game. Express with the lead, 10:50 left. Johnson. Now to Kirk Williams Jr. in the post, up against Garrett Williamson. Takes it to Collins, deep three. Misses as the shot clock expires. Okori moves it down the court. Stephen Maxwell can't finish the alley-oop attempt.
Bit of an optimistic pass from Nick Okori there, as it was a very high. Maxwell couldn't get there.
10:33 on the clock here at Budweiser Gardens in Game 2. Quick update on the game. Out east, the Hurricanes now with a 32-16 lead. 8 minutes to go in the second there. Hurricanes look primed to get their second win in the series in Game 2. Shaq Keith collects the ball. He goes to ground. No jump ball, and now here come London. Okori on the fast break. Takes it to the hoop. Too easy for number 2 in white.
Great job by Nick Okori cutting to the basket. Shaq Keith looks a little shaken up after that.
Bolden waits for his teammates to come in. 9:53 on the clock. Collins dribbles, bounce pass. Here we go. Kirk Williams Jr. goes to the hoop. Finds lots of space. Pretty much no one in the key for that one.
Yeah, London does a good job of avoiding the contact on that play.
Williamson across half. 9:35 on the clock. London perhaps trying to slow things down a bit. Wright, 4-3 on the far side. He gets it to go. Tie game, 84 all.
Great shot from Akeem Wright. Cal Julius, I think, wanted the and one, but 3 points will do it, and that ties this game 84 all.
Breathes some life into this crowd here at Budweiser Gardens. Collins with it. Works around a screen. Now to Mo Bolden. This is a pretty deep three. He's going to move it in for a deep 2. Misses. Williamson now moving it up here for London. Another stop. Can they take the lead? Stephen Maxwell? No. Rebound, though. He's got it. Gets the putback. He will not. Stephen Maxwell unlucky. Windsor with the ball. Collins into the post. Bit of a mismatch here with Williams. Wright going in to help Corey, and that's going to be Alex Superman Johnson.
Well, London did just about everything right on that play. The help defense came there, and they put Kirk Williams in a tough spot. He made a great pass to Alex Johnson there. And again, Windsor goes up 2.
Corey in no rush as you see him at the very top. For 3, Nick Corey gets it to go.
Huge basket for the London Lightning. This is going to be a timeout from the Windsor Express as both teams throwing counterpunch, and no one really able to get a foothold of the lead. This is a good timeout from the Windsor Express. Stops any momentum the Lightning might have had after that bucket, and just puts a damper on everything.
London regained the lead and seemed to kind of get their step here in the fourth quarter. Pretty much the same as last night. They really struggled through finding their feet, especially in the first half, but once the fourth quarter came around, they started to surge a bit.
Well, I think both teams also recognized that when the game did get out of hand, either for Windsor when they were getting beat by the Lightning earlier, or in the fourth quarter where the Lightning were coming back, I think both coaches probably recognized when they looked back on that game that if they called timeouts sooner, they might have been able to slow that momentum. And that's why we're not seeing the timeouts after, 6-point runs like we did last time. We're seeing the timeouts as soon as there's a momentum shift. So looking at that going into the rest of the fourth quarter, the scoreboard shut off again, so we might have a bit of a delayed timeout again. But I think the London Lightning and Windsor Express recognize that momentum's going to play a huge part in this going forward.
The scoreboard off here at Budweiser Gardens. 5,680 on hand for Game 2 of this Central Final. Another solid crowd here. There's London routinely leading the league in attendance per game, and especially in the playoffs, we've seen lesser crowds in the playoffs, likely because of scheduling. Obviously, people kind of plan ahead with those tickets in the regular season, but with the volatile scheduling of the playoffs, not everyone can necessarily make it out to as many games, but again, a very, very good crowd considering. The scoreboard still out here. A couple London Lightning staffers in and around the scorer's table trying to coordinate what exactly happened. Referee's still waiting for the clock to come back on, and there it is. So again, a 1-point lead there as the fans are reminded of that here at Budweiser Gardens, their hometown team up by 1. Again, trying to retake home court advantage in this series. The Express taking game 1 on the road. Very impressive win, 100-98. Still some issues with the scorers table in terms of the
well, I think they're trying to determine what the time should be.
It says 8:17 right now, and it appears to be well, the referees are over there as well. It appears to be what's on the live stats as well.
It's down again.
And the scores table once again having a quick chat about the scoreboard.
Who kicked the cord?
And it's back up. Let's talk about something else, Chris. This Halifax St. John series, Chris, is going to be very, very interesting. St. John actually beat Halifax in the regular season 6-5 in their head-to-head, but Halifax just destroyed the No Rats last night.
Yeah, it's very hard to kind of mentally prepare yourself to go into another game when you had an almost 50-point gap opened up on you. It'll be a really good test for St. John, though. They have a lot of veteran players, and it'll be a real test on those guys, not necessarily on the court, but in the locker room. If they can keep their teammates and keep the whole team motivated and pumped up, it should be interesting in Game 2. I think Game 2 will be the one that tells us if St. John puts up a fight or not, because if St. John comes out looking a little sleepy, then I think that series might be done.
Keep in mind, Gabe Freeman, the former London Lightning player, actually missed Game 1 of the series due to a 2-game suspension he was given in the Moncton series. So as the inbound came, the scoreboard actually went back down again.
Oh, boy.
So we're having a couple more troubles here at Budweiser Gardens. We'll try to keep you updated as soon as we can. That now says 8:06, but Not exactly sure if that is going to be changed to 8:17 and we'll do this all over again or not.
Pure eyeball test. It looks like there's a cord or something that keeps coming loose.
Yeah,
I can't possibly get a good look. We're on like a completely different level of the arena, but it seems like there's an issue at the table as opposed to the actual scoreboard or anything.
Back to 8:17. Deja vu here at Budweiser Gardens. Inbound coming from Mo Bolden. He'll take it to Brandon Robinson. We should be back underway. Again, Robinson with 29 points. Off to Tony Bennett. He's got 7 assists. Williams. And now to Alex Johnson. Waiting for some movement down low. Bennett with it. Avoids the swat. Jump ball perhaps. No, Williamson gets it, and now here comes Nick Corey on the fast break. He's got Marcus Capers with him. He's going to hand it off to Akeem Wright. Avoids the strip. Here we go. Nick Corey. Misses the 3. Big rebound there by Akeem Wright. He's fouled.
Huge job by Akeem Wright there. Not only did he make the beautiful pass to get that shot open for Nick Corey, but he charges into the paint and gets the rebound too. And now he's going to go to the line shooting 2. Big play by the London forward.
That's going to be a foul against Kirk Williams Jr. Keep in mind, that's his 4th foul as well. Taking a look at some of the foul troubles here at Budweiser Gardens for the Windsor Express. 4 fouls for Kirk Williams Jr. and Chris Commons. When you look at the London Lightning, really no one there except for Ryan Anderson up to 4. Everyone else in around the 3 area. So still having problems with the scoreboard here at Budweiser Gardens. Again, we'll try to keep you updated as much as possible, but it's an official's timeout here.
No, I think this hurts London because, again, we've been talking about how momentum's playing a big part for both of these teams. And London, they've had a nice couple of strings of plays there that the scoreboard has cut the momentum of.
Well, yeah, and they were struggling with that momentum swing in the 3rd, right? It seemed like everything was going Windsor's way, and now when they've got the opportunity to crawl back, the scoreboard goes dark. So 87-86, the Express down here on the road. London outscoring the Express 13-6 in this frame. The Express outscored London 36-30 in the 3rd. Lots of movement. They've got a couple audio and video officials from Budweiser Gardens going through some of the equipment now. Time to go get some popcorn. I'm not going to leave the commentator booth. I still have to call.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Chris actually just walked away.
That's a made-up fact. I'm still talking to the microphone.
And the classic
the free T-shirt distraction.
Kyle Julius calls his team in as cheerleaders get set for a free T-shirt giveaway. It looks like things are back up on the scoreboard here after maybe a hard to reset or something similar to that at the board. So again, Windsor doing a good job shooting from the field, 53%, 25% from three-point land. Not bad. London shooting 45% from the field, 37% from three-point land. Taking a look at the free throws as well. London able to turn that one on now. 13 and 18, shooting 72%. Not bad. Express shooting 69%. Both teams obviously improving in that category.
One number I really think is a big factor for London here is they've got 11 offensive rebounds compared to 7 for the Windsor Express. And that's, again, a lot of it coming from Stephen Maxwell. Doing a good job of being aggressive on the boards and getting those extra chance opportunities for the London Lightning. But another story, Windsor, they've been getting huge games from their bench. They're winning the bench scoring battle 26-10. Looking at your leading scorers, you've got Akeem Scott, 20 points. Akeem Wright, 11 rebounds. Akeem Scott, again, 8 assists. For Windsor, Brendan Robinson, 29 points. Maurice Bolden with 8 rebounds. And Tony Bennett, 7 assists. No one really in any foul trouble on the London Lightning. You've got 4 fouls on Ryan Anderson, 3 on Akeem Scott. And then looking at the Windsor Express, you've got 4 on Kirk Williams Jr., 4 on Chris Commons, 3 on Shaq Keith, 3 on Brendan Robinson, 3 on Billy Rush. Some of the top performers for each team scoring. Akeem Scott, 20 points, 16 points from Garrett Williamson and from Akeem Wright. and 15 from Stephen Maxwell. Looking at the Express, 29 from Brandon Robinson, 14 from Shaq Keith, 11 Kirk Williams Jr., and 10 from Tony Bennett. So those are your main contributors so far in this game.
Points in the paint as well, 46 for the Express and 40 for London. Both teams still, electing to go down quite a bit in game 2.
I think it speaks to the fact that both teams are aware that fouls were a problem last game by the fact that they haven't really they haven't been committing as many fouls. They're playing it much more safe and maybe not as aggressive as they were in game 1. And I think that shows in the much lower number of fouls. I also think the refs are doing not that I thought the reffing was bad in game 1, but in game 2, I think the reffing's done a better job of just kind of letting the flow of the game go.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's been too many objections to the calls as well.
Yeah, I find there's two schools of thoughts on refereeing. Some people are like, you have to call everything, and then some people are like, it's fine as long as the game flows. I'm one of the game flow people, and so I like a game like this where, let some rough stuff go. They're both physical teams, and just enjoy the flow of the game.
Yeah. And
unless the scoreboard acts up.
Of course. I think the one thing we've seen a lot of is, especially on Windsor side, I'm thinking of the likes of Kirk Williams Jr. They take that foul, and they don't mouth. They don't mouth off the refs. They more or less, I've seen, especially Kirk Williams Jr. just literally run away, but just kind of being like, yep, mine.
And I think we saw much more objections from the Windsor players last game. And it resulted in a couple of technicals. I believe Bill Jones got one too.
Yeah.
And I think that's something they went into the locker room last night saying, yeah, we won, but this is what we want to work on. And an example of that was early in the game when Brendan Robinson was clearly very heated over a foul, and Tony Bennett was the one who went over and said, just relax, let me talk to him, work it out. Yeah. And that could have been a big difference because Brendan Robinson's at 3 fouls. And that one extra foul could have been, more time that he has to spend on the bench. Instead, you get to play Brendan Robinson a ton of minutes, and he's done a lot with them. 12 of 17 shooting, 29 points.
Yeah, that's what we know from Brendan Robinson. You give him minutes, and he's going to put the points up for sure. Quick update on the scoreboard. There's still a few Lightning officials in and around. Both teams hanging out around the benches here, at least for the time being. A couple other officials in here as well. I mentioned the audio-visual people coming down. Looks like they've got a whole new setup. And a quick update on the game happening elsewhere on the East Coast. Halifax with a 40-31 lead over St. John. The Bulldogs climbing back into that one, now only down by 9. And still a bit of a lull here at Budweiser Gardens. We're going to take this opportunity to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hello, and welcome back to Budweiser Gardens. Marty Thompson, Chris Croucher up top. We did take a quick break for the score clock issues. Obviously didn't want to be talking for the 35-minute break that did ensue. We didn't obviously see that coming, but the clock is back underway, back going rather, and the fourth quarter is about to get back underway again here at Budweiser Gardens. London with an 87-86 lead, as you can see. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a good finish here to this fourth quarter. We've got, again, about 7 minutes and 40 seconds left. Both teams doing a bit of a 3-minute long warm-up. Of course, with the 35-minute timeout, a lot of the players were sitting down resting, so they want to make sure that they're getting their warm-ups in, and it looks like we should be good to go. And lots of patient fans here at Budweiser Gardens. Again, about a 35-minute delay. The score clock just kind of kept going out for a few moments there earlier, and so they replaced. Looks like they replaced at least a cable we were hearing, but also had a couple different boards as well. Again, fixing the clock here at Budweiser Gardens. We're good to go. 7:40 on the clock in the fourth.
Yeah, I feel like they just did a total system check to get that one solved, but we're good now. Back to some basketball, and I know it doesn't feel like it after that break, but this is a one-point game in the fourth quarter. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left. This is still going to be a tense atmosphere, and now coming out of the break, London was in a bit of a rhythm. This kind of killed that momentum, and now we get to see which team's going to have used that break and which team might be coming out a little bit flat.
We're not clock experts. We're not basketball. Well, we are basketball experts.
I was about to say, speak for yourself, Martin.
I'm not a basketball. Okay, Akeem Wright at the line here. Again, 7:40 left in the fourth. Game 2 of the Central Division Final. Akeem Wright gives London a 2-point lead, and Windsor get their first touches, and we see the first open play here at Budweiser Gardens in just about over a half an hour. The refs blow things down pretty quickly, though.
The clock's still working, though.
Yes, of course, it was. Yeah, we should clarify that. 2 fouls for the Express, just 1 for the London Lightning. We talked a bit about the foul trouble there before the break, but it really seems like it's Kirk Williams Jr. in trouble with 4, Chris Commons as well at that total. Bennett with possession up top. Brandon Robinson in motion. He's got 29 points on the day. Capers matching up against him. Robinson backs in, finds some space. Somehow he gets up and over the defenders. It bounces. Robinson fires it into the first row. Lightning ball.
Great catch by the fan, though. That was a low pass, and he was able to just reel that one in. Good job there.
Again, 89-86, 7:18 left in the fourth. Akeem Wright leading the London Lightning with 20 points. He lugs it up the court for his team. Akori with it. Finds a lane. Drives to the hoop. Up and over Mo Bolden. Mo Bolden will collect the rebound, and that's going to be a foul. Capers and Akori up in Bolden's face. Julius not happy with that call. Regardless, Express ball.
Yeah, I think Cal Julius thought that one should be on Mo Bolden. There was both sides getting a little aggressive on that one. Good to see the fire still there after that break.
Bennett moves it across. And yeah, we mentioned it again before the break, but how London was on a pretty decent run, and the break will definitely not help that in terms of the momentum swing. Bennett fakes the 3, takes it to Brandon Robinson. Can he pick up where he left off? No, it's an air ball. That's Mo Bolden getting up and getting fouled. Oh, is that going to be a foul against... no, it will be a foul against London.
That one's going to be on Akeem Scott, and Bill Jones looked equally mad, so I wasn't sure exactly who that might be on.
And that was the same thing that I saw, Chris. He's slamming his feet up and down on the hardwood.
Both coaches livid at something.
Julius out talking to the refs at half. Just in front of the scorer's table.
I think they're deciding who the foul should be on.
Well, we got a bit of a break here again. Yeah, update. Yeah, pretty much. Update on the St. John Halifax game. The Hurricanes up 48-37. Third quarter just getting underway there. So that's both these games. Now, even though Halifax starts about an hour after this one, looks like they're only about a quarter difference in terms of timing. So the refs having a quick chat with the coaches and the scorer's table. Regardless, it is a foul against London, but you're right, Chris. We're not exactly sure who it was against. Could be King Scott.
Looks like it's Scott. No, it looks like it's going to be Mo Bolden going to the line. I don't think anyone really knows at this point.
6:43 left in the fourth. Express looking to cut into this London Lightning lead. Again, heading into this break that we had, London was doing pretty well in this fourth quarter. Right now, they're outscoring the Express in the fourth by a total of 15-7 with that Mo Bolden free. So that foul is going to go against Corey. That's his fourth foul. Keep that in mind as we move into the rest of this fourth quarter, the second half of it. Bolden takes it up, good for two, or good for one rather. Stephen Maxwell preparing to come back in for the Bolts. Akeem Scott with possession here on the far side. Wright in a physical battle with Bolden. He's going to look to switch the play. He's going to move along the baseline, spins, double team, a little bit of space here for Nick Corey up top for the three, and he's got it.
Huge shot there from Nick Corey. Steals a little bit of momentum back going into this fourth quarter. 6:20 left. We got a big finish coming.
Bennett moves it across here for the Express. Bit of space here. Commons battling with Akeem Wright, and that's going to be a foul against Wright. That'll be his third. Stephen Maxwell coming in to replace Marcus Capers. If you're just joining us after that clock malfunction, it's around a 30-minute break, but again, the clock functioning properly here at Budweiser Gardens. Commons up to Bolden up top, 10 seconds on the shot clock. We're halfway through the fourth. Robinson moves around Williamson. Runs into Maxwell, pulls back, here's a three. Brandon Robinson is short, it's tipped around. Akeem Scott grabs the rebound and sends the Windsor Express players the other way. Speaking about the other way, that's a Corey Maxwell, it's out. And it's out off of London. Windsor ball.
Yeah, I think Corey might have wanted to give that one up. He tried to look off the defender by using Maxwell as a distraction, but the defender didn't bite.
Inbound, Bennett has it. Bolden and Brandon Robinson on this far side. Bolden takes it up top. Here's Bennett on the far side, now up top to Commons. He can shoot a three from up there. Johnson, and now to Robinson. Robinson again, 29 points, a lot of them coming from beyond the arc. Tipped, try to find Commons down low. Commons disappointed in the pass. Scott brings it across, puts his hand up, tells everyone to slow down a bit. 5:20 left in this one. Williamson. Now down low to Wright on this far side. That's going to be foul. Looks like it's going to go against Tony Bennett. That'll be his second of the game. Brings the Express up to 3. London at 4. Lightning ball, Wright getting set on the inbound. Waits for a bit of motion. There's Maxwell. Tries to find Wright. And now up top to Akeem Scott. 10 seconds on the shot clock. A bit of a roar here from Budweiser Gardens. Akeem Scott misses the three. Robinson takes it back to Bennett.
It's starting to look like the start of the game. Both teams just trying to get back into a rhythm.
Shaq Keith preparing to come on here for the Windsor Express. He could take them into a rhythm, and that's gonna be Tony Bennett falling out of bounds is the call. Looks like he was maybe trying to draw a foul.
Yeah, the Windsor Express was saying he got bumped out. Rest didn't see it that way, though.
So another stop in this fourth quarter, second half of the fourth quarter. 4:51 left. Akeem Scott, again, leading the team with 20 points. Akeem Wright, he's in the key. He's leading the team with 11 rebounds. Williamson to a Corey for 3 on this near side. Hits the rim. Collected by Commons. Now the Express will start their offense. They're down by 4 here with about 4.5 left in this fourth quarter. Bennett, Commons moving in front up against Maxwell on the post. Commons backs in. Oh, he's going to go all the way to the hoop. Fakes it, gets fouled, and he's going to go to the line for an extra.
Huge play there by Chris Commons. This is going to bring them back into this game. Commons wasn't having the best night so far tonight, but just right there, he's going to make his point total go to 8 points and 8 rebounds here to make it 9 points.
The big man, of course. The big man, Chris Commons, goes to the line. 175 games in the NBL. Misses that one. Williamson moves it across on the far side. Corey stationary on this near side. He's going to get the ball. No foul. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Akeem Scott with Shaq Keith playing defense. He moves around him, up and good for 2.
Good job by Scott to recognize that mismatch and just drive to the bucket. Make Shaquille Keith play catch up, but he can't, so Akeem Scott gets 2.
4 minutes, 4-point lead for London. Windsor's got it. Shaq Keith tries to move across, but there's a foul call. It's going to be, again, involving that Commons right combo that we've seen quite a number of times here tonight.
We saw those two getting physical last game as well.
So that's going to be a fourth foul. Looks like it's going to go against
Akeem Wright.
Akeem Wright. Yes, that's correct.
Wright, who's had a good game too. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists.
We talked about fouls being a storyline in this first one. Brandon Robinson finishes it. He gets to 31, and he's going to go to the line for an extra. Unbelievable stuff from Brandon Robinson. Makes it a 2-point game, possibly a 1-point game. As I was saying, and what a time for this to happen. We talked about fouls being important in the first game. London now up to 7 fouls with 3:52 left. Windsor still have lots of breathing space in that category. They only have 3. So can Windsor take advantage of that here in the fourth? Got some decent free throw shooters. Not doing the best from the line here so far tonight, around 66%. Corey in motion, top of the key.
Someone's got to help him.
Backs up. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Pretty much all of London's players are pretty close to half. Scott will get it off in time. Oh my goodness, Akeem Scott!
Over the 6'11", Mo Bolden, the 5'11", Akeem Scott, able to chuck that three-pointer up with nothing but a prayer, and he makes it.
Brandon Robinson with a fantastic answer back.
Well, maybe this will jazz the crowd up a bit. It got a little quiet there after that break. Now they're getting a little more back into it.
Akeem Scott with 25 points. He could get more here. No, unlucky, but he will go to the line. Fouled on that shot. Akeem Scott and Brandon Robinson, the game's 2-point leaders going at it. Scott willing to just catch his breath after that quick rush to the basket to add to London's lead. 97-95, 3 minutes left in Game 2 of the Central Final. Express with a 1-0 lead after a 100-98 win here at Budweiser Gardens. Game 2 on Tuesday in Windsor. To get to 99 points. Gets it. Bennett along the far side. Across the London logo there and makes it all the way to the hoop. Gorgeous play. It's no good. Tipped around. Bolden can't get to it. London with a stop. And Budweiser Gardens with a huge roar. Akeem Scott gets the ball after that errant pass. They've got 15 seconds. They're going to slow it down here. 2:40 left in this one.
Give it to Wright. He's got Tony Bennett covering him.
Bounce pass to Capers. Corey with all the space. Misses the 3. Collected by Wright easily on that rebound. I'm not sure if Windsor's players thought there was a foul there. Didn't really go for that ball. Regardless, fresh shot clock here for the Bolts. Capers let Scott move around him. Scott versus Bolden at the hoop. No good. Windsor collect. Bolden, they're going to say the ball falls out of play off of London. So Windsor getting set on the inbound. It looks like there's a timeout by Bill Jones on the Windsor Express. Perhaps just trying to slow things down.
Yeah, again, this is not the pace that Windsor wants to play at. London with a lot of back and forth, a lot of speed going on right now. And Windsor more of the slow, calm, collected team. And I think that pace was just getting a little too frenetic even for London, though. We saw a lot of mishandling of the ball. And so I think this might actually have been an okay timeout for London as well, because they get to sort of replan their attack here. But again, for the Windsor Express, it's a case of the fact that London was starting to pull away just ever so slightly. The momentum seemed to be in their favor. I didn't think I'd say this, but the dance pack actually has a big role right now. We've seen the game be kind of slow, and they're the ones who have to keep the energy up after that break. So if they can keep the energy up coming out of the timeout, it could lead to a London advantage.
Yeah, it's getting a little louder here at Budweiser Gardens. To be fair, there was quite a number of people who headed for the stands during that break, or headed for the doors rather for that break. The crowd thinned out a little bit, but still very substantial numbers here at Budweiser Gardens as always.
Again, you can't really see it, but the upper bowl is mostly full. So
Kyle Julius getting his last discussions with a couple London Lightning players as they head out onto the court. And 7 fouls for the London Lightning, 4 for the Windsor Express. We've got 2:16 on the clock in the fourth. London in white, Windsor in red. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth. Commons getting set on the inbound. It is a little loud here, Budweiser Gardens. Commons hands it off. Tony Bennett. Backs into Scott. Tony Bennett still with possession. Rolls it to Chris Commons. In the post up against Wright. That's going to be a foul. Oh, against Chris Commons.
Yeah, I think they're going to give that one to Commons.
Oh, it's going to go against Wright.
Okay.
It's hard to tell with how the Windsor bench is reacting. Obviously, they got a better
they
look.
jump up every play, but on that one, it kind of looked like both guys were giving it back and forth there. So, again, it was the opposite side as what we're seeing, so maybe the Windsor bench had a much clearer picture of it.
Commons gets that first one to go, a crucial one for the veteran. Makes it 99-96, 2 minutes to go in game 2. As we mentioned before, a very strong Windsor Express contingent right behind the Windsor Express bench up into the first couple rows of the stands there in that corner. Akeem Scott moves it across half. We've got 2 minutes to go. Corey in motion. Right. Now to Scott. Kirk Williams Jr. pushes him out. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Right. Scott wants it back. He'd shoot the 3 here, and he will. He'll miss it. Wright can't get the rebound. Crucial stop here for the Express. Shaq Keith bumps Akeem Wright. Offensive foul. 1:36 left. That is a massive call.
Akeem Wright didn't make much of an effort to stand up on that one. But that's going to be London ball with a chance to swing momentum again here. 2-point game, minute 36. London can add to their lead here.
Scott with possession on the near side. Right in motion along the baseline. He's up against Shaq Keith. Williamson now to a Corey. Deep 3. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Moves it along. Jumper. Fades. Got it. Nick Corey.
Huge basket there by O'Corey. Gives them the 4-point lead. That changes what London could do going into this final minute.
Robinson takes it to the hoop. No good. Massive stop here for London. They're up 101-97 with a minute to go. Capers switches it. Williamson and no rush. 7 fouls for London, 5 for the Express. Williamson with Williams guarding. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Williamson takes it to the hoop. Dagger. Dagger.
Huge bucket there from Garrett Williamson. That's going to give him 18 points on the game. Windsor has to call a timeout. The London Lightning up 6, and that shows you a couple of different plays that just completely turn things in London's favor. London up 2. They draw the offensive foul, get themselves that 4-point lead. Brendan Robinson plays a little bit rushed trying to get back. I understand he was trying to get quick points, but I don't think they needed him that quick. And he's going to miss the shot, and then, of course, back down the floor, you've got that Garrett Williamson 2-pointer. It was just simple. They killed a ton of clock doing it. And the London Lightning in control right now. 6 points is not a safe lead, though. The Windsor Express, of course, a very dangerous team. They aren't going to freak out when they're down in a playoff game. They've got every amount of postseason experience you could ask for. So it's not quite over, but the London Lightning in a very good spot.
Well, all you have to look to is game 1 when Ryan Anderson had that 4-point play. Brought London right back into it. You never know. You never know in this game, and you never know with the Windsor Express as well. Again, game 2. London looking to tie this series up 1 apiece heading to Windsor for games 3 and 4. We'll be back in London for game 5, if necessary, on Saturday. Same lineup here for London. Capers as well in there. The one surprise addition, I guess, with the 5 that are out there now for London. All the others are starters. Inbound coming from Commons on this near side. Commons, Bennett breaks away, grabs it very quickly. 43 seconds left in this one. Bennett to Robinson. He's the hot hand. Commons backs down to Corey. Oh, Commons can't get that one despite the mismatch. Shaq Keith will.
Big rebound and 2 points there from Shaq Keith. Lightning are going to take a timeout now.
Timeout by Kyle Julius. Shaq Keith seems to be a very sound shooter, and he might be someone that Tony and Bill Jones will be looking to go to moving forward in this game. Just seems like he has that presence around the rim, Chris. I know you mentioned it before, but even Commons, you'd expect him to get that hook shot, but he didn't. And then Keith comes in, full tilt, and somehow manages to toss it in.
Well, Shaq Keith just has that great feeling for not just touch around the basket, but knowing where he is on the court. He's got good court awareness, and that's one of Chris Commons' strengths as well. And the part of the reason the Windsor Express have been good is the intelligence that a lot of them have. However, in this case, London able to take over, and now they have to close out. We've seen a couple of games where London has had troubles doing that, though. This one, we're going to hope, is very different.
Again, 103-99. 7 fouls for London, 5 for the Express. Timeout by London. They're about to hit the ball along the near baseline in the attacking half.
Yeah, 2 points could win this.
For sure. At this point, for sure. Because they're going to be waiting here. 24 seconds on the shot clock, 33 on the game clock. 9 seconds there, obviously. Differential at this point. Capers on the inbound. They got to get it off in time. They will. Here's Wright, swatted there by Brandon Robinson, and that's going to be the Windsor Express's 6th foul of this fourth quarter. Inbound coming again here for Capers. Now 31 on the clock, 23 on the game clock.
Yeah, Windsor had a foul to give there, so why not stop the clock a bit?
Capers. Oh, that's going to be a foul. Capers was looking towards a Corey and Kirk Williams Jr. there to pass it to a Corey, but then they both went to ground. It's going to be a foul against number 32 in red, Kirk Williams Jr. Chris Commons is coming into the game. It looks like Maurice Bolden will make way. Oh, it's a 5-second violation.
Yeah, the foul's going to be on London there. This is actually a big play here as the Windsor Express now have a chance to make it a 2-point game. 30 seconds left, plenty of time.
Great defense there from the Express. That's their calling card. Shaq Keith fouled. He's going to go to the line here for 2 with 21.9 on the clock. Maurice Bolden coming in to replace Commons just one play after it was a reverse switch. Meantime, Ryan Anderson coming into the game. Looks like Nick Corey is making way. Both teams getting a little taller.
Shaq Keith, a 73% free throw shooter. He's got to make this one.
It's got to be good. The crowd definitely happy about that. To make it a 3-point game. Gets the second one, and that obviously is going to be a timeout by the London Lightning and Kyle Julius. 3-point game, 21 seconds. What do you do if you're Kyle Julius, especially?
Try to kill as much clock as you can and make sure you get another 2-pointer. I'd like them to run the same play they did. That got Garrett Williamson the 2 points to make this 103. I think something like that is probably in their best interest, because even if Garrett Williamson doesn't get the 2, Windsor can't really foul them, or else you send him to the line and he gets to make it a 4-point game. Yeah. So you go for the 2, you drive to the basket, because then worst case scenario, worst case scenario is you don't get anything, but second worst case scenario is that Windsor fouls Williamson and he can just go for even just one free throw, makes this a 4-point game.
Yeah.
So I'd be trying to draw up a play where Williamson comes around the screen and cuts to the rim.
We'll have to see. Game 2. It's been a good one, despite a giant break in the fourth quarter due to scoreboard issues. The pace has certainly picked up here in the last half of the fourth quarter.
Well, I mean, if we have up to 5 more of these and they're going to all be this close, it already is, but this could continue to be one heck of a series.
Again, neither London or Windsor has made it to the NBL finals in all 4 years of the league's history. Obviously, that will continue this year in the 5th. Capers getting set on the inbound. On the near side, Ryan Anderson trying to get around Robinson. Solid defense again. Are they going to force it? They're going to force it. Bennett can't grab it.
That was out on Tony Bennett.
London ball.
Or they're calling a foul on him.
Oh, they're calling a foul. A foul against Tony Bennett. Massive play, not what we would expect, but again, good defense there by Windsor to force that inbound.
Well,
obviously, with that 5 second coming
there
up.
was nearly another violation on that, but instead, Tony Bennett trying to tie up Ryan Anderson takes the foul. Bill Jones not very happy about that one.
You see him there talking with the ref. The referee's on the far side. So Chris Commons coming back in, and now Mo Bolden being replaced. Ryan Anderson at the line. 2 shots coming for number 44 in white.
This is the guy the Lightning want up there too, an 82% free throw shooter.
4-point game, 20.4 left. Awfully quiet in here. Now it's awfully loud.
Huge points there for the London Lightning.
Express really have to get something going here. Bennett along the baseline. 17 seconds. He's got to take the 3. He misses it. Shaq Keith somehow keeps it in. 10 seconds. Shaq Keith. Now Robinson. Did he step out of bounds?
Out of bounds. Bill Jones, again, not very happy with the call.
9.3. London on the inbound. 5-point game. It looks like the Lightning are about to take game 2 and tie this series up. What a fantastic finish again. Very smart finish there from London. Although Windsor had some great defense on a pair of interesting inbounds on this near side. 105-100. London tie the series up 1 game apiece, heading to Windsor for games 3 and 4 on Tuesday and Thursday at the WFCU Center. Marty Thompson and Chris Croucher up in the booth. Chris, another nice game. Another fun game to call for sure.
Another really tight game too. Both teams are very much in it to win it, and the London Lightning just happen to be the better team. I think one of the things that we didn't talk much about during the broadcast, but London needs to be commended for, is aside from the third quarter, Windsor didn't really score a whole lot. They only had 23 points in the first, 20 in the second, and the fourth was around 20-22. Aside from the third quarter where they let Windsor have 36 points, those third quarters might come back to haunt London. But other than that, they did a good job at not only scoring themselves, but defending against Windsor and really adjusting their game to the pace and the flow of it.
Series shifting to Windsor. That's going to be fun too.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolute zoo in Windsor, trying to have the London Lightning come in. They have to steal one. If this series goes 3-1, we know Windsor can close out. So I think London has to take one of these 2 games at Windsor if they want to have a chance at winning this series and moving on to the NBL Finals.
Windsor 16-6 at home this season. They're 3-2 at home against London. London getting 2 of the 6 games that Windsor gave up at home this season. It's going to be fun. Game 3 on Tuesday in Windsor. Game 4 on Thursday. So for Chris, myself, and everyone here behind the scenes, thank you very much for tuning in. The final score here at Budweiser Gardens in Game 2, London 105, Windsor 100. The Bolts tie the series at 1 game apiece.